All right, everybody, welcome back. Get ready, because today we're diving into some really cool stuff about how to actually achieve your goals.
And I'm super excited to dig into this.
Yeah, you guys sent in this awesome material about redefining success and gamification, and all this is going to help us, stop feeling stuck with these overwhelming goals and actually start seeing some real progress.
Yeah, what I think is so interesting about what you said is it gets at the psychology behind how we set ourselves up for success or, maybe sometimes not.
Exactly. It's like we're trying to climb Mount Everest before we even learn to climb a hill, right?
Totally. And that's where this whole idea of micro wins comes in, which I think is such a game changer.
Yeah, micro wins. I love that. So tell me more about that. Like, how do we actually put that into practice?
So instead of thinking, okay, I have to write a whole book or I have to build this entire business, you break it down into the tiniest little steps.
Oh, okay.
Like ridiculously tiny. So instead of write a whole book, it's write one paragraph today. Or instead of build an entire business, it's design my logo, you
Oh,
know?
I see. So it's like tricking your brain into thinking, oh, this is manageable. I can totally do this.
Exactly. Because each of those tiny wins, it releases a little hit of dopamine, which makes you feel good. And then you want to do more of it. You get that feeling of accomplishment.
Right. It's like you're not waiting for this big thing to happen to feel successful. You're like
Yeah.
constantly winning, even if it's just these small things.
Exactly. It's all about the small victories. And the more you do it, the more momentum you build and the easier it gets to keep going.
I love this. So it's like we're rewiring our brains to crave progress instead of another scroll through social media.
You got it. It's like training your brain to be like, wait, accomplishing things feels good. Let's do more of that.
Yes. Okay, so give me an example from the material because there were so many good ones. Like,
Yeah.
how would someone use micro wins to, I don't know, let's say, finally get organized?
Okay, so instead of thinking, ugh, I have to organize this entire house, which feels daunting,
Yay.
the worst. Right. It's like, okay, today I'm just going to clean out one drawer.
Yeah.
Or I'm just going to tackle that one pile of papers I've been avoiding. And then you do it. And you feel amazing. And then tomorrow you tackle another small area.
So it's like those little wins add up over time.
Exactly. It's like, the snowball effect. You start small, and before you know it, you're looking around and your whole house is organized.
Wow, I love that visual, the snowball effect of micro wins. That's pretty powerful stuff.
It is. And it works for literally any goal.
So no matter how big or small, just break it down, celebrate those tiny wins, and boom, you're on your way.
Exactly.
This is so cool, right? Like we're basically hacking our motivation here.
Yeah.
But hold on, because our source doesn't stop there. It talks about how it's not just about what we do, but like who we become along the way.
Right. It's that identity shift.
Yes. Okay, so tell me more about that because that feels kind of deep.
It is deep. It's like instead of just focusing on checking things off your to-do list, you're thinking about the kind of person who achieves those things.
Okay, so like how do you actually do that?
So let's say your goal is to, I don't know, write a novel.
Okay, sure.
Instead of saying, I want to write a novel, you start thinking, I am a writer.
Oh, I get it. So it's like
Yeah.
you embody the identity even before you've fully achieved the goal.
Exactly. You start acting as if it's already true.
Because it's like if you see yourself as a writer, you're more likely to actually like sit down and write.
Exactly. Your actions start to align with your identity.
Because this is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
And our source mentioned affirmations, which I know a lot of people talk about. But how do those fit into all of this?
Affirmations are huge. They're like these little reminders that you tell yourself, reinforcing that new identity.
Could you give me an example?
Yeah, so going back to the writer example, you could say something like, I am creative and I express myself powerfully through my writing.
Oh, I love that. So it's
Yeah.
not just like I'm going to write a bestseller. It's more about embodying the qualities of a writer.
Exactly. You're literally changing your self-perception with every affirmation.
And when you believe it, you're more likely to take action. It's like that whole fake it till you make it thing, but like for real.
It's so powerful because our brains are amazing, and when we consistently tell them something, they start to believe it.
And then our actions follow, and then boom, we become that person.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I'm here for it. All right, so we've redefined success. We're embracing micro wins. We're shifting our identities. This is amazing. But wait, there's more, right? Because gamification is next, and that sounds like fun.
It is fun, and it's actually a super effective way to stay motivated and achieve our goals, which we'll dive into right after this quick break.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground. We talked about micro wins. We talked about identity shifts. And now it's time for the really fun part, gamification.
I know, right? It's like, Who knew that achieving your goals could actually feel like playing a game?
Seriously. But how does this whole gamification thing actually work? Like, do I need to start wearing a VR headset while I'm cleaning my house?
Okay, maybe not a VR headset, but the idea is to take those elements that make games so addictive, like points and rewards and challenges, and apply them to our everyday lives.
Okay, so like instead of getting XP for slaying dragons, I get XP for like finally doing my taxes.
Exactly. So let's say your goal is to, I don't know, learn a new language.
Right, yeah.
Instead of just kind of like dabbling in Duolingo every now and then, you could turn it into a game. You could set daily goals for how many lessons you'll complete, how many new words you'll learn.
Oh, I love that. It's like those language learning apps already kind of do that a little bit, right?
Yeah,
Like with the Drakes and stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
They've already tapped into this, right? Because it works. But you can take it even further. Like maybe you create a reward system for yourself. So every time you reach a certain milestone, like, you've mastered a new tense or you can hold a basic conversation, you get to do something you enjoy.
Oh, that's a great idea. Like if I learn how to order a pizza in Italian, I'm rewarding myself with like a whole season of my favorite show.
Exactly. Or a real pizza, whatever motivates you. The key is to make it fun and engaging, right? Like you're actually looking forward to practicing, not dreading it.
I love this. And you know what else I think is really cool about gamification? It's like you're constantly getting feedback, right?
Yeah.
Like you're leveling up, you're seeing your progress, which is super motivating.
Yes, absolutely. It's like our brains crave that sense of progress, that sense of accomplishment. And gamification, it gives us that in a really tangible way.
It's like we're tricking our brains into thinking that like cleaning up the garage is as exciting as, I don't know, fighting a boss in a video game.
Exactly. Okay, so you've been wanting to write more, right? You could even make a little progress bar, and every day you write, you fill it in a little more.
Oh, I love that. I'm a very visual person, so that would totally work to me.
Right. And when you see that bar getting closer and closer to being full, it just pushes you to keep going.
Okay, this has been amazing. I feel like I've unlocked all these secret levels to achieving my goals now. So to recap, we learned about breaking down those big goals into micro wins, shifting our identities to align with our aspirations, and then gamifying the whole process to make it fun and engaging.
And the best part is you can use these strategies for literally anything, whether it's a personal goal, a professional goal, it doesn't matter. It all works.
Exactly. So go forth and level up your lives, everybody, and be sure to let us know how these strategies work for you, because we love hearing your stories.
We do. And maybe you'll inspire our next deep dive.
Until next time.